Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. This is part 2 video for this weekend ending April 24th, 2026. We're going to cover the growth stocks here that I follow. This week we have continued confirmed uptrend with 80 to 100% allocation by IBD. We did suffer two minor distribution days on S&P and one on Nasdaq. We do see continued strong momentum on the accumulation side accumulation versus distribution. And we're also seeing technology and industrial sectors doing better this week. And then for this week, we have my list of growth stocks here. Out of those, there are about 580 that I'm monitoring. And those ones have a 42% uptrend percentage right now. So that is not too bad. I mean, we dropped from 80% last Friday to 42%. So that is a significant drop. So that's almost half of those that were in uptrend are now in downtrend. So that means we have lots of stocks that are pulling back. And then here I'm starting to record what's have been reported. Those stocks that have been reported. Again, very similar percentage, 41% of them are the new ones that have report earnings are in uptrend. So very similar. So again, not too many stocks have reported. Right now, the list monitor is 41 stocks. So very small number of stocks here that have reported. So obviously this coming week we'll have many stocks that continue to report. This is going to change a lot of how this list will perform. Some of them may even drop out because I have very strong fundamental criteria where they have to have usually 10% or more earnings growth in the next 4 quarters. Looking at this growth stock list, this is the list of stocks that I follow, and here's the symbol. They are ranked based on performance. At this moment, I'm still ranking based on January 6th because that was the last quarter. Eventually we will switch to more April timeline, but just because most earnings hasn't come out yet, so I'm still continuing with the previous time frame. So we do see here, whether they're in uptrend or downtrend, and here we see whether they hit new high recently. And then we have the group and sector here. So looking at this list, one that really obviously stand out is the orange color, which are all the technology related stocks. We do have a couple of energy or commodities related stuff here. Then we have the light green, which is the industrial area. We have one health here, we have one financial here, and then we see more energy commodities area. But overall, it's mostly orange and light green, which is technology and industrials continue to lead the market. Here we start to see a few retails here, more financials, again, ranked pretty low here. So in the top 100 is mostly industrials and technology, right? Here we filter by technology and you see a lot of technologies are doing really well. All of them hitting new highs as well, a lot of them. So this is definitely worth looking into. And also dominate the top 100 here, lots of stocks here. The first few groups we're going to look at are all semiconductor related. At the top here, ranked number 1, we have MXL. This is in the semiconductor Fabless. So the light green here, when the symbol is light green, that it means it has reported earnings this week. And so MXL did report. And looking at this, it jumped a lot this week. Because of that earnings, it's up 129% this week. And looking at the numbers down here, here's the earnings growth here. We have seen, from double to triple digits to most recent quarter, 540% growth. Next projection quarter is 1,400%, and then after 150, and then 101, and then 72%. So we're talking about tremendous growth here. And looking at this chart, the stock didn't actually do that well for a while. It kind of went sideways for a long time. It's only recently in this current rally that it started to break out. And so from here, we start to move up and, still very tight. Then we start to see, 2 big days here. And then from there, we start to consolidate. You see the ends showing up. The ends are the black markers from IBD market search chart here, which means there are significant volume coming in. And from there, after the earnings, Friday, we have a huge gap up in the morning. And, from there, we continue to go higher throughout the day and close, in the upper range. So there's a lot of demand for this stock. This is the largest volume. So obviously it is very extended right now. They have their own growth story. Obviously, data center related, and it's worthwhile to pay attention to this and study this. And then we want to wait for a proper entry point. So generally, I don't jump into or chase a stock like this. But I do monitor it because the 10-day right now is pretty much slow, pretty strong right now. And it's going to take some time for it to catch up. And maybe this stock might digest, maybe it won't right away. I don't know. Who knows? It could go up more in the next few days if it wants to. But for me, I just wait, patiently for a pullback and see how it reacts to that. And if it does bounce back, maybe I'll give it a try. Next ranking, we have ICHR, Form, Credo, Marvell, which did announce some. There's some. Not sure if it's a real announcement or just that they're in talks with Google about building more chips for them. Then we have ALAB, ARM, which we cover in the main market video, and we have Rambus and DELL and STM. So most of this we covered in the previous week, but this week we're going to cover Rambus and STM as well. So this is Rambus. This one also moving up on uptrend and climbing the right side of the base. It broke out Friday. Very strong volume here on the down. You can see down here. It is reporting this coming week. And we also have STM here. We reported earnings on Wednesday or Thursday morning, and it jumped quite a bit on that earnings news. And Friday, it kind of followed through, even though it closed at the bottom of the range, but it did make a new closing high. Next here, ranking is ASX, AEIS, AMD. We covered that in the main market video. COHU, TSAM is pulling back. Empower, MTSI. This is COHU, COHU. Looking at this, a nice breakout here. It's been climbing since. Wednesday we have a slight pullback here, and then we found support right away. And Thursday, Friday we continued the momentum higher. Next we have monolithic power systems here. This one also similar, breaking out, and then we start to move higher. And here's the green line, never really come down to it. It continued to make new high. This is MTSI, Maycom Technology Solutions, also very similar chart. This one also has been riding the 10-day, above the 10-day, and just keep going higher and higher. And then there's other stocks here, ON, ALGM, MKSI, ENTG, SMTC, all of this making new highs here, LSCC, MCHP, AMAT. And then we have also Texas Instrument reporting. So this one also broke out on Thursday after the earnings report on this cup base, and Friday it did pull back from a new high. So we'll see again how this if it continue, will bounce back eventually. Another stock that also reported was Lam Research, LRCX. This one, did have a volatile day after that earnings report on Thursday. However, Friday it did go back up and make an intraday high before pulling back at the bottom range here. So we'll see how this continue to react going forward. We also have AVGO, which we also talk about in the main market video, EMBA, IMOS, ADI, NXPI, TSM we also mentioned in the main market video, NVIDIA as well, and ASML is currently in the downtrend. Next group in the technology is data storage. We have SanDisk WDC, STX, MU, and SIMO here doing really well. Here's SanDisk. It also pulled back slightly in the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday. Look at how it just barely touched the green line here on Wednesday, and it bounced back close and make a new high. And Thursday we pulled back slightly, and Friday once again we bounced back and make new high. So again, the momentum continued to be strong. RUS rating is at 99, which means it's better performing than 99% of the market. Here's Western Digital. This one has been riding above the green line very smoothly here, also making new high on Thursday, and Friday also have another closing high. STX also making new high on Thursday here, and Friday it did pull back slightly. It is still above this green line here. Again, very sharp angle here on the slope momentum. Next, we have Micron. Micron is starting to move again. It's recently consolidate, pull back towards the green line here, and then Wednesday we see that big bounce, making new high And then Friday, we again make another new high. We have Silicon Motion, symbol SIMO, also joining the group to making new highs here. Look at this, breaking out on Friday on higher volume, so that looks very good. All right, moving on to the next group, also ranking really well. Number 5 here, VIAV in the fiber optics, LITE and CIEN. Looking at VIAV solutions here, and this one again, we continue to make new high. This stock has been tremendous in the since last year, early this year, and breaking out and yeah, doing really well, making another new high here. This is Lumentum. Lumentum also doing really well here. It is not as nice right now. It's trying to make back above the 10-day. This one is definitely a lot more choppier recently in like the last month. And also again, it didn't make new high this week. This is Sienna. Sienna barely make a new high on Thursday and Friday here. So again, also a little bit more choppier as well. Our next area, we have the computer hardware peripheral networking tech service here. So we see DELL rank 22, PNG, ANET, RAM, and DGII, and the other two EXTR and CALX is in downtrend at this moment. Here's DELL making new high this week and holding pretty tight as well after that new high. And Friday we're able to find support after undercutting Thursday's low. This is Penguin Solution PNG. This one make a huge bounce on Friday, breaking out to new high here, so that looks pretty good. This is Arista Networks also recently breaking out of this long base here and climbing really nicely above the green line, the 10-day moving average. And on Friday, it was able to make another intraday high. Next, we have Computer Tech Service Live RAM, symbol RAMP. This one is still stuck in this space. It did bounce on Friday after pulling back the previous day, Thursday. So we'll see if we can come out. Here we have DGI International. This one is recently pulled back and then we did recover from that. And so far is riding above the 10-day, which is the green line here as well. Other stocks in the technology group, we have Fastly currently in a downtrend. Again, software is not doing so well this week. We covered that in the main market video. We have UI here in the telecom infrastructure, still doing okay. We have TSEM currently in a downtrend. We have PDFS in the software design making new high. We have RNG and A10 here also making new high. Actually, not new high, but it's still in an uptrend in the software enterprise area. We have Yelp here. We have Shun in the wireless, but that is in a downtrend. We have CARG, AMX. Again, we start to see more software enterprise down here. Azure, Net, Twilio, and so forth. Please feel free to continue doing your own research here. But there is a lot of stocks in the technology group here. So and then at the bottom here we see lots in downtrend. So this is a pretty big group here of stocks, and again dominate the top 100 in the technology area. And the industrial area is also another big group sector here that dominate the top 100. As you can see here, again, many stocks are hitting new highs as well on Friday. First group of stocks in the industrial area are all the electrical areas, the contract manufacturing, miscellaneous products, and so forth. So sitting at the top here, we have TTMI, GLW, VRT, which reported COHR, FN, ARW. Here's GLW Corning. This one is starting to move again. Recently pulled back towards the 10-day here, touches the 10-day but never went below it. And it found support and now it's starting to move again and it make a new closing high on Friday. So that is very good momentum right now. Here we have VRT reported this week. Vertiv here, and it did come down on the earnings at first, and then it started to bounce back on Thursday, and then Friday we followed through and closed a little bit higher. Here's Aero Electronics in the electronic parts area. This one also break out not too long ago. A huge breakout right here, and then it did pull back, and notice how it never came back to the green line, and then it just kind of built on that momentum and continued to rise above it. And on Friday, we did close slightly lower, but not by much. Next, we have AVT ANET here. This is electronics parts also. This one, very similar chart, breakout, pullback, and then continue to rise above the 10-day and making new high on closing high on Friday. Here's GNRC Generic Holdings. This one is in the power area, equipment, and it's slowly building the right side of this base. It's still pretty deep in the base right now, but it's slowly coming up. So we'll see if this can continue that momentum. Here's Flex. Flex also doing really well, making new high on Friday. Very strong slope there. Here's Sanmina, electrical contract manufacturing, building a tight, really nice handle here recently this week before making a new move Thursday and Friday, breaking out. Yeah, feel free to cover the rest of this. We also have JBL here, CLS, Alphas, NVT, ALNT, all making new highs here as well. In the building related groups here, we also have MOD ranked 21, LGN making new high, MTZ, STRL also making new high, with IESC making new high, MYRG, PWR, EME, and MWH. Here's IESC making new high. It continued to rise above the 10-day moving average here. Here's PWR, very similar chart, bounce off the 10-day, the green line here, continue to make new high. Friday it did pull back slightly. Next we have EME Core Group. This one also recently break out from this nice cup base here. At this moment it did close slightly below Thursday's price and on Friday here. This is MWH, a recent IPO, soft energy in the heavy construction area, breaking out of this IPO base. Since then, look at how it trade very tight here near the 10-day line, never touches it, and then it bounced off it really strong the last 3 days. The industrial lists also have XPO here in the logistics area. We have ESC in the machinery general industrial making new high. We have ESI in the chemical specialty making new high. And yeah, you can continue to research the rest here. There's still many stocks here in this group as well. Another area that dominate the top 100 here as well. Next, we're going to look at the commodities and energy area. And at the top here, we have BE, KGS, and we also have FET, VIST, and FTI, all in uptrend in the oil and gas area. Here's Bloom Energy. BE is the symbol. This week, it was able to bounce off here and keep going higher, and then Friday it did give back quite a bit, but still above Thursday's intraday low. This is Kodiak Gas Service in the oil and fuel services. This one also been climbing steadily above the green line here, which is the 10-day moving average. It did close Friday on the new high as well. Here's oil and gas machinery equipment stock, Forum Energy, symbol FET. This one has built a nice flat base, and we've had this long handle form. It did come back above the red line, which is the 50-day moving average, and also above all the short-term moving average. We are near the breakout point here on the handle, so we'll see how it can perform next week. Here's FTI Technic MC, also in the oil and gas machinery equipment group. This one pulled back recently. It has a nice prior uptrend, and from this pullback we did bounce here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we're able to keep making higher highs, and and we did close at the top range, at the top of the bar here. Next we have VIST, Vista Energy, in the oil and gas producer area. Here we also pull back pretty sharply, and it did go under the red line slightly, and then before bouncing back, and then recent days it has actually been bouncing and now is above the 10-day. At rank 98 we do have AVD in the chemicals, agriculture, also SVM here in the mining, gold, silver, gems. So for mining gold and silver, it's not all of them are in uptrend. In fact, we see a lot of them still in downtrend right now. So you can, look into those yourself. Next sector we look at is retail. Here we, don't see too many uptrend stocks, but there is some. So at the top here, it is retail apparel, shoes, CAL, UNFI in the wholesale food area, RSI, leisure gaming. We have cars, retail wholesale, Etsy in the retail internet, CASY actually make new high in the super mini market area, PTON, which is leisure service, and Roku, which is also leisure service, and we have finally Coke here in the beverages, non-alcoholic. This is cars.com, CARS, the symbol. We did have a recent pullback here to Thursday morning low, and then before actually not touching the green line, and then it bounced on Friday. So this looks pretty good. This one is CASY General Store in the super mini market. This one also bounced from the 10-day right there, and then it's continued to move upward, sitting above the 10-day. Here's Peloton Interactive, PTON is the symbol. This one also recently pulled back, and then before it bounced on Friday. Here's Coca-Cola, symbol COKE. This one also suffered some correction here, but eventually it did now starting to bounce back. And here's the short-term moving average. The 50 days where it sits slightly above. Here's the financial group here. We see that RELY at rank 38, OSCR rank 65, Affirm, EZPW, MRX, XYZ. We also have Geo and EQIX, which is also making new high. And here we see that Easy Corp here also breaking out recently and has been climbing since, sitting way above the 10-day moving average at this moment. And it did pull back slightly, but it's still considered trading pretty tight on Friday. So we'll see if we can continue this momentum. Next we have GEO Group. This one also bouncing slightly from the 10-day, the green line, and right now it's just sitting above it. Here's Equinix in the REIT area. This one has been going up really strong after the original breakout here. Friday did reverse a little bit to the bottom, but we'll see if this momentum can continue. Here we have Acadian Asset Management, AAMI. This one also break out recently from this base right here, and then from there we keep climbing, and recently we did pull back a little bit, but not much, as we still above the 10-day moving average. On Friday it was able to bounce back as well from the lows, so looking good so far. So other stocks in uptrend as well: MBIN, Upstart, FCFS, CISO. We also have NWA here, LC, DLO, FNF, and then we have other stocks here. Feel free to check it out. So there is a lot of stocks in the financial, but a lot of them are in downtrend at this moment. So we move over to the health sector now, and we do still see a lot of red downtrend. But there's a few that's bucking the trend. The first one is ASTH. We have AHCO. We also have Hinge. We also have UNH that has reported this week. Starting from the top here, we have ASTH here in the managed care area. This is Astrana Health here, also bouncing pretty nicely here, breaking out of the double bottom base here. It's been climbing nicely above the 10-day, which is the green line. On Friday, it started out pretty weak at testing the intraday low, and from there we were able to bounce all the way back. So this looks pretty good. Next we have the reader here, which is falling. It did fall back slightly here on Friday, but this flat base here is setting up pretty nice right now. So if we do break out here, which will also coincide the high here with the previous base high, so that looks also might be something that could work. Here's AHCO, Adapt Health. This one also been climbing steadily. It does pull back to the 10-day quite often, and recently on Tuesday we did that. But however, look at the way it bounced back on Friday. We actually sit above the prior 3 trading days high. Other stocks in the health area, we also have this is HNGE, Hinge Health. This one also bouncing pretty strong here from the bottom. Then we have one big day down day on Thursday. Friday we were able to recover past the intraday high from the day before on Thursday. This is United Health Group in the medical managed care, and it's been building a long base here, climbing back the right side. It is trading very tight here, almost forming a handle. So if we do break above the handle, that will be another potential. So here's the whole list. Again, we didn't go through obviously a lot of them, but we just usually focus on the top 100 stocks. But we clearly see there's a really strong momentum. However, earnings season is coming up, so we'll see how all these stocks will behave that are reporting. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for your support.